Today we're reading from Exodus 18, 14 through 17. Here's what it says. When his father-in-law saw all that Moses was doing for the people, he said, "What is this you are doing for the people? Why do you alone sit as judge while all these people stand around you from morning till evening?" Moses answered him, "Because the people come to me to see God's will. Whenever they have a dispute, it is brought to me, and I decide between the parties and inform them of God's decrees and instructions." Moses' father-in-law replied, "What you are doing is not good." Again, that was Exodus chapter 18, verses 14 through 17. Moses' father-in-law Jethro was blunt, to say the least, but he was also profoundly helpful. So much so that Exodus 18:24 tells us Moses listened to his father-in-law and did everything he said. What did Jethro tell Moses to do? In short, to delegate the work of judging and governing Israel. Exodus 18 verses 13 through 26 gives us a front row seat to the master class Jethro taught Moses on delegation. Today, I want to turn your attention to 5 principles from that passage that are relevant to you and I today, whether you lead a team of 10 or 0 and are simply delegating work around your house. Here's principle number 1. Identify the work that you're most uniquely equipped to do. For Moses, that was to be the people's representative before God and bring their disputes to him. He was the only person that God had called to do that task, and so his father-in-law Jethro urged him to focus as much of his time and energy as he could on that singular activity. Principle number 2, select trustworthy people to delegate other work to. In verse 21, Jethro told Moses to select, quote, capable people to delegate the work of judging Israel to. But when he explained what he meant by capable, he didn't focus on technical skills, but matters of the heart, urging Moses to select, quote, men who fear God, trustworthy men who hate dishonest gain, end quote. Principle number 3, make the time to train and delegate well. One of the most common mistakes I see people make when delegating is not making the time to do that work with excellence. Jethro warned Moses against this, instructing Moses to, quote, teach his team God's decrees and instructions and show them the way they are to live, end quote. Here's principle number 4 we see in Jethro's master class on delegation. Trust your team. In verse 22, Jethro said, quote, the simple cases, they can decide themselves, end quote. In other words, don't micromanage, Moses. When we trust those we delegate our work to, it not only serves us by freeing us to focus on the work we're most uniquely equipped to do, it also enables others to do their most exceptional work, and so is a way of serving them. Here's the last principle. Delegate, but do not abdicate. Jethro didn't advise Moses to let his team handle all of the cases on their own, just the simple ones. Jethro said, quote, have them bring every difficult case to you, end quote. Why? Because to quote Michael Hyatt, delegation is not abdication. The outcome is still your responsibility, end quote. You may be wondering, why does it matter that we, like Moses, learn to delegate well? Because it enables us to excel at the very thing God saved the Israelites and us to do. Work for his glory, the good of others, and the advancement of his kingdom. Today,